Everyone already knows the result. Everyone already knows what's happened since then. The offside that was incorrectly given, the red card to Jones, Curtis Jones, arguable. I might say, fair enough. If that's an on-field decision, then it is what it is. It's an on-field decision, reviewed probably with the worst possible angle, with the slowest slow-mo replay of that particular incident. I mean, foot rolling over the ball onto the ankle of the Spurs player. It is what it is, sent off, but the offside to Diaz, that was clearly onside. I mean, really, you're going to claim that there was a massive human error in that from the Premier League managers and officials group? I mean, what the hell? Why even, like, I mean, some will say, okay, they're admitting fault, fair enough, but they still didn't apologise. There was no official apology given to Liverpool FC for that very poor, incorrect decision. If this was done from the referee on the pitch and the linesman, I would say, fair enough, they missed that one. That's definitely an incorrect decision because of human error. We'll say, okay, we used to have this problem, remember? And that's why VAR came in. Video Assistant Referee, I think that's what it stands for, was to correct the wrongs, to make sure that offsides were objective. It either is or it isn't. It's not a maybe yes, maybe no. But again, even with VAR, we've had dubious decisions. Sadio Mane, I use Liverpool as a reference because that's what I'm most familiar with. We had that in the Merseyside derby a couple of years ago. Before that, Van Dijk got clattered by Pickford. No card to Pickford. Van Dijk was injured for a good year. And they claimed, well, because it was offside, there was no card to be given to Pickford. So just because he's offside, Pickford injuring a player means play on, effectively. Cool. But the Sadio Mane offside, that was given by the most minimal of margins. A shoulder of skin off a shoulder or the sleeve millimeters that was given offside there. I don't know how you give that offside by VAR, but cool, whatever. But the VAR against Luiz, that was just insane. And of course, the PGMOL gave their statement, significant human error. We'll contact Liverpool FC and explain this. Cool, explain away all you want. It doesn't change it. We're not going to get that goal given to us. The game doesn't now finish 2-2. I mean, Jota's first yellow, arguably, again, definitely not a yellow when Udogie tripped over his own feet. So I don't know how he gets a red card. Are we going to rescind that yellow, that red card? Possibly. They might argue it. I don't know if they challenge it and say, okay, well, whatever. I don't know if there's an amount of appeals you can have throughout a season for red cards. But if there was ever a red card that was to be appealed, that was it. Also, the Alexis McAllister decision a couple of games ago where he got sent off. I think it was, who was that one against? Was it Villa? No, that was a different game. No, I can't remember who it was. We ended up winning that game anyways. But that as well, the straight red card, no review, amazing stuff. But Liverpool FC are not going to take this lying down, nor should they, nor should any club. If people are watching this and they're thinking like this is a salty Liverpool FC fan, yes, maybe. I'll say 25% salt, 75% objective football, I don't know, thought, shall we say. Because yes, whilst I'm annoyed we lost that game, look, if it was 11v11, strongest 11 v strongest 11, I'd say, you know what, fair enough, Tottenham edged that one out, fair play to them, 2-1 at the end of the game. But it took 2 sendings off and an own goal for them to win that match. Some will say it was luck, some will say it was perseverance. You can make up your minds there. But the 75% I want to focus on is the fact that this is not just a Liverpool thing, this is a Premier League thing overall, because managers will speak out against the officiating and say, that, I don't know what they're looking at, this is poor, this is terrible, how can they do these things? And then they get a fine, they get a suspension. Players speak out against officials, they get a fine, they get a suspension. The officials do this, nothing happens. Yeah, we messed up. We'll try to do better next time. They get dropped for a few games or they get demoted to another division, but nothing effectively happens to them as far as I know. If it does happen to them, nothing happens then to the clubs that were affected. Liverpool did not get this goal that was wrongly disallowed for offside. Wolves didn't get their penalty that should have been given to them when Anana Mike Tyson, the Wolves player, in the box. They don't get that penalty back. Hell, Arsenal don't get their goal against was it Bournemouth or Brentford last year when there was an onside and that was disallowed. That could have swung the title in their favour last season. I mean, these things do matter. These things do happen. Handballs given 1 week, this is a handball, and the next week, this is not a handball. Like, how do you determine? I don't know, but no repercussions no accountability, no anything to signify any real change or shift in, okay, we need to change things up here because the same things keep happening week in, week out. How many times we've gone, refereeing decisions have cost this team, refereeing decisions didn't give a penalty, refereeing decisions sent off the player, it's always refereeing decisions, right? So Liverpool FC, not taking this lightly, nor should they, nor should any club that has been wrongly affected by this. I think Liverpool FC now may be targeted by, I don't know, the officials or the PGMOL or whoever is looking at this, but the statement effectively calls them out for their complete shithousery and fucking uselessness in officiating, because it reads, Liverpool Football Club acknowledges PGMOL's admission of their failures last night. It is clear that the correct application of the law of the game did not occur, resulting in sporting integrity being undermined. We fully accept the pressures of match officials work under, but these pressures are supposed to be alleviated, not exacerbated, by the existence and implementation of VAR. It is therefore unsatisfactory that sufficient time was not allowed to the correct decision to be made, and there was no subsequent intervention. That such failings have already been categorized as significant human error is also unacceptable. Any and all outcomes should be established only by the review and with full transparency. This is vital for the reliability of future making decisions as it applies to all clubs, okay? All clubs, with learnings being used to make improvements to processes in order to ensure this kind of situation cannot occur again. In the meantime, we will explore the range of options available given the clear need for escalation and resolution. So as I said, a brave from Liverpool FC on that one. They're saying this is absolute bullshit. You've clearly done wrong here. And if this was Manchester United, if this was Man City, hell, if this was Tottenham in the same game and Tottenham went out and said, hang on a second, you've robbed us, I'd be like, you know what, fair enough. The refereeing decisions, they messed it up. By all means, Spurs, go hard, you've got my backing. And if Spurs fans or any other fans are coming across this, or I've seen in many other channels as well, a lot of people out of the common decency have a switched on brain. And they're saying, yeah, you know what, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but this was such piss poor officiating that this is so terrible. Other people may be rejoicing. I know some Spurs fans, with their excessive expressions, shall we say, are taking this as though they've won a Champions League final in a way. Shameless as it may be, yes, I'm talking about expressions oozing. I do find him entertaining. I don't have any beef, no ill will, but man, realistically, you think like this win against a 9-man Liverpool to an own goal in like the 95th, 96th minute, like that is something to relish over. I mean, that's next level delusions. I mean, calling a lot of Arsenal fans delusional for thinking that they were going to pump you last week. I think Spurs fans now time for their delusions, because this was not an even game by any stretch of the imagination. The referee on the pitch, I don't even know his name. I don't care to know his name. Absolute fuckwit in terms of officiating. A yellow card to Jota for Dogi tripping over his own feet, whatever. And now, of course, Gakpo injured, scoring the equaliser. I don't know how he injured himself there. We'll see what happens there. Could be out for like 6 weeks or something, which is not good, or maybe even months. Hopefully not, but we'll see what happens there. So Liverpool are not taking this lying down. Gary Neville the other day was saying this undermines other offside decisions now. How can we say, well, the next decision for offside is going to be correct when they can't even get a correct decision correct? Like, in the sense that this was a correct goal, but they didn't give it correctly. How can they do that?
That is a really bad one. It undermines other offsides. I've been worried about offsides for a few weeks, right? Might be unfounded, but I'm worried about them because I think there's certain things I've looked at, I thought, that isn't right.
So after saying that, you know, now we're going to second guess all these offside decisions now because the PGMOL and the officials are just doing a very poor job now, questionable as it may be with VAR and everything else in between. He went to Twitter and basically said that Klopp addressed everything he needed to address in his presser, but now using words like, you know, we're going after him and we're going to explore all options and X, Y, Z. Like, Liverpool may try and do something to the PGMOL. Whether they'll be successful or not, I don't think so. This could be working not in Liverpool's favour, but someone has to do it. Someone has to be the first person to figuratively sacrifice themselves in order for something to happen. Because if it's not going to be Wolves for not being given their penalty, if it's not going to be United for not being given a handball against Palace, if it's not going to be whoever, someone has to do it. So Liverpool are doing it, because apparently Liverpool are the only ones who actually give a shit about the officiating in the Premier League. But he said on Twitter As I said, Jurgen Klopp handled the situation well last night after the game. Most football fans will have had empathy with what happened and recognised it was wrong. However, Liverpool's statements tonight is a mistake. Talk of exploring all options. What does that mean? And sporting integrity are dangerous phrases, along with being vague and aggressive, as they should well be, because the PGMOL are absolute fuckwits. Sorry we effed up was enough. No, it wasn't. They didn't even specifically say they were sorry. They just said, yeah, we acknowledge we messed up. There was no official apology. Whether one will come out by the time this video is released, I have no idea. A lot of people are waking up now in England talking about this, which I'm going to pay attention to as well as soon as this video wraps up. But he says, sorry should be respected and not undervalued. Disagree. If it happens once, shame on me. If it happens, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, no. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? You do it once, I'll be like, okay, all right, fair enough. You do it twice, I'm like, I'm not taking this. Right? That this happens way too often for people to just be accepting sorries from people that are meant to be doing the right thing. They're not doing the right thing. This is a snap reaction that can always be wrong, but I feel strongly about it. And of course, people calling him out, rightly so. Grizz Khan, a Liverpool fan from the Big Six and his own channel as well, says, all it took was a telling off. Hey, Gary, change your tone within 24 hours. Show some backbone, fella. You're better than this. The red man, the narrative shift from you and your mates is staggering. Until a club says it's not good enough and accurately acts upon it, then nothing will ever change, because until now, there's been zero backbone shown when it comes to addressing the horrendous officiating in the proclaimed best league in the world, which I agree. Few other people on here. John Gibbons of the Anfield Rap, he says, why do you keep saying that they have apologized? They haven't. Kelly Case corrected you last night, and yet you are still peddling it. Maybe if they did actually apologize, it might help. Worth a go. I do not think it would actually help anything. And also, Gary, why is it a mistake? Why can't we understand how they arrived at this error? Yeah, they have e-pieces, they have communication, they talk amongst themselves. How do we not know what happened? What did he say? Hi, we have a potential offside. Can you please check that it is offside? And they said, yeah, check complete. Okay, so it is offside. Cool. Okay, offside. It's like, hang on a second. It's not offside. What the fuck are you doing? Absolute bullshit. And of course, people are going to point out, oh, what about this penalty against Spurs? Yeah, in the Champions League. Well, that's where the ball actually ended up there. So miss with that bullshit. Again, other players being stiffed. The ghost goal that was given. Look, if goals need to be given and goal line technology is there, the goal line technology can also mess up. But that's technology. You can say, well, that's what the technology is. People don't review it. It either is or it isn't a goal. So there's no lines that come across checking that sort of shit out. Another person says, you got a call from somebody to turn it down, didn't you, Gary? You are sellout, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Most fans are united. We shouldn't be accepting mediocrity when sporting integrity is in question, full stop. Now, I won't go so far as to say that this is corruption. I've seen a lot of people in comments, the football terrorists, the club, Liverpool fan channels. I mean, even Mark Goldbridge. I'll get to Mark Goldbridge in a second. Many channels out there saying like this is corruption, this is bullshit, this is fixing, etc., etc. Apparently, people are making conclusions that the referees or something went to Qatar or the United Arab Emirates only a couple of days ago, and City lost, and now Liverpool lost, and people are making up their own stories, right? I'm not going to go as far as say that, there are nefarious things happening behind the scenes, but I can understand why some people may think that way. Now, Mark Goldbridge, of all people, massive United fan, but when it comes to football, he's objective as it comes. He could be, if you didn't know he was a United fan, you would say that he just loves football and looks at it as is. Now, sometimes his decisions or his questions on decisions, I might think, yeah, I don't know about that. Again, on-field decisions, a red card, a yellow card, whatever. Those things I can say, well, I can have an argument with you about that. But for an offside, for a goal given from goal line technology, there is no mucking about there. This is what Gary Neville, I got him in his head. This is what Goldbridge had to say regarding Liverpool immediately after or even during when the match was taking place the other night.
The bigger picture is, of course, this is a title race. And Liverpool could well have been top of the league tonight. They're down to 9 men. They've had a goal chalked off. They've had a player not play for most of the game, which was ridiculous. And all because the officials are terrible. They are ruining the Premier League. And there will be people out there that find it funny. There will be Manchester United fans who find it funny. But we had it happen to us last season. We've had it happen to us today. We had it happen to us against Spurs with Romero in the handball. The inconsistency week in, week out is unbelievable.
When a Man United fan, as diehard as he is, even Gary Neville at the time saying this was a very poor decision, and Gary Neville having backpedaling his decision now, Even when someone like Mark Goldbridge, I'm not saying he's the authority of everything, right? I'm not saying he is, but when someone as stern Manchester United supporter as Goldbridge is, Liverpool being one of his, if not the enemy, okay? When he says this was wrong, Liverpool have every right to be angry and upset and every right to be going for this and calling out the referees and the officials. I think that goes to show that there is something terribly wrong happening with officiating in the Premier League. Okay. He also said this when it comes to the statement that was released from Liverpool as well. And he's got the backing. He wishes United actually did or are acting as Liverpool are right now with these poor refereeing decisions or, very wrong refereeing decisions.
This argument that is now bubbling up, I'm firmly behind Liverpool on this. I have no reservations at all. It could be Man City, it could be Chelsea, it could be Arsenal. I'd be firmly behind it because it's about football integrity at its very, very core. And sorry is not enough. So let's get straight into what has been said by Liverpool. Remember, this is the response to what happened on Saturday night. I think Liverpool have played, can I just say as well, my experience of football is, and I wish Manchester United were like this, and I'm sure other clubs do as well. If something happens to Liverpool, they don't fuck about. Like, they don't. They will, if they will go for it. Like, why should they sit back to the Premier League or the PGMOL or whatever the referees association is? Why should they sit back and just take it? Why should they? They're Liverpool Football Club. Why should they sit back and listen and take, punishment or advice from a dictatorship?
And with all that being said, it is what it is. That nothing will change now. We determined what went wrong and we're going to work to have that not happen again. Cool. We're not going to get that goal back. Jota, maybe. Is there a chance of an appeal? Again, how many times can you appeal for a red card to be rescinded or revoked? I'm not sure. Potentially, maybe. Jones, they'll just say, look, it is what it is. That's a red card. Okay, cool, whatever. VAR check. Again, the worst possible replay. Some people say, a foot rolled over the ball. It wasn't straight through. If it was straight through, I'd be like, sorry, mate, you got to go, man. Like, that's Jones messed up. But no, it was a bit of a questionable one there. But the offside, definitely very poor officiating. What the hell are they smoking in Stockley Park? What are they doing in the Premier League with these referees? And this isn't a Liverpool thing. Liverpool just are the guinea pig in this moment here. And the guinea pig is retaliating. This is what's happening. They're the guinea pigs in terms of trying to test out and see what they can do with the officials because this is complete bullshit. If it's not us, it might be Spurs, it might be United, it might be Luton Town, it might be Chelsea, it might be Arsenal, it might be West Ham, it might be Brighton, who the hell knows? Could be anybody. This is why this needs to be fixed up. This is why it's a football thing, not a Liverpool thing. If people come here or see the channel and think, salty Liverpool fan, miss me with that shit. If you're a Spurs fan celebrating that win against us the other day, celebrate it all you want. It wasn't given on full merit. A strong 11 versus strong 11, I may say, you know what, fair play to you. You done well, you beat us. Fair enough. Not in this instance here. But more so the refereeing decision. Officiating is dog shit in the Premier League.